Welcome to this special edition of the Commissioner's Report. Today we're being joined by Commissioner John Hall, and we'll be hearing from Assistant County Manager Leanne Thomas on a number of topics that impact the lives of Polk County citizens. Up first is Commissioner John Hall. Welcome to the show, Commissioner.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Commissioner, you were with us in the stirring summer of 2004 when 3 hurricanes crossed Polk County, causing considerable damage to our buildings and homes. I recall the Central Florida Development Council placing the approved contractors list on its website. But even so, there were a number of unscrupulous folks posing as licensed contractors who took advantage of our citizens in the rush to have repairs made in those hectic windswept days. What has changed in the past 9 years to assist our citizens?
Well, there's several things that have changed. First of all, we have not had a major storm during that period of time, and I think that that leads our citizens to become complacent. They get relaxed when we start talking about construction. Our construction has been down during the last 6 years or so, and that again leads to some complacency. Right now we're on an upswing in construction, and we need to start taking a look at and being mindful of the fact that there are still unscrupulous people out here who are not licensed, who are wanting to take advantage of some of our citizens. Specifically the older citizens, our elderly, because they come from a different time when a person's word was good.
Yes, sir.
They didn't have to write a contract. If someone told you they were going to do something, they would. So those are the things that have happened as far as societal changes. The big thing that we have done as a county, we have a piece of software. It's called a permit project status viewer. And our citizens can actually go online to the county's website and open the status viewer and check to see if a person that is proposing to do work for them is a licensed contractor. They can check their insurance. They can check to see if they've ever had any problems and how those problems were resolved. So I would urge everyone to do that. The other thing is that our citizens need to know and understand that a business tax receipt is not a license. It's not a contractor license. And a lot of people say, I'm licensed and insured, but the only thing they have is a business tax receipt. A contractor will be more than happy to show you their competency card because it takes years of hard work to get that. And there's a difference in those two things.
Thank you. You just said that construction is up in the county. As you travel around our very large county, what are you seeing out there?
Well, construction is up. We've got some things that are going on. Our property values have bounced back for the first time in about 6 years. So,
thank goodness.
Yes, I know. Everyone that I talk to says the same thing. Home sales are starting to move. They're up. So I think that, and today, later on today, I will be meeting with some people, and I'll keep the location kind of quiet right now, but I'll be meeting with some people that are wanting to start a development that may have up to 750 units in it. So
wow.
Those things are good for Polk County. They're good for our contractors, and they're good for our economy because we put people back to work. And it's just good to see that we've got that moving in that direction.
As a board member of Polk Works, which is Polk County's workforce recruitment organization, you're seeing more employment opportunities. Tell us, please, about this program called Race to Place and its incredible accomplishments.
Oh, it was actually fantastic. Stacy Campbell-Dominique and her staff came up with a plan to place 10,000 people in a period of 6 months.
Wow, that's a big number.
It's a big number. It's a big number. During a period of time when we were down on jobs because of our economy was a little bit depressed because of everything that's going on, They took on the challenge to make that happen, and they succeeded. So we've been able to place, through Polk Works, 10,000 people in a 6-month period, and that is a fantastic accomplishment. Through partnerships with our employers in the county, and those jobs, they cover the spectrum from minimum wage to very high salary. So it was phenomenal what they've accomplished.
Congratulations. There are a number of home run projects going on in our community. The Florida Polytechnic, the CSX Intermodal, Polk State College's Technology Research Center at Clear Springs, Stream Song, Legoland expansion, on and on. These are great, great major projects. But we're also seeing a bevy of retail projects throughout the county, including new stores for Dollar General, Family Dollar, Publix, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, Aldi Racetrack, and coming soon to a neighborhood near you, Wawa's. These jobs are important too, don't you think?
Every job is important. I was just at a speaking engagement recently, and one of the people there said, "Well, you know, we have these jobs that are minimum wage jobs. What we're looking for is the upper end of the spectrum." Well, everyone does not qualify for an upper end of the spectrum job when it comes to salary. When you start to move into those positions, employers are paying based on experience. You've got to bring something to the table to be able to get those upper scale jobs. So every job is important. You enter the job market typically at the bottom end of the spectrum at a minimum wage job. We have high schoolers that are graduating. They're planning on going on to college, but they need that job to take them through. You know, they need to be earning some cash while they're going to school. So every job is important, and we're trying to move our county toward the upper end of the salary spectrum, but I would say that we're always going to have minimum wage jobs. We're always going to have those jobs and people to take them. So I think that given our unemployment rate, every job's important, and people will be happy to have them.
And the retail jobs, of course, bring convenience and quality of life. Polk County is an interesting place. We're the home of the $27 billion a year public supermarkets headquarters, and yet there's at least 8 communities that would love one grocery store. So we've got to help those communities out as well.
Absolutely. Anything that we can do to help them, we'll be working toward that end.
Getting to work can be a challenge for a lot of folks. You're also on the board of the Polk Transit Authority, which has come a long, long ways in the past several years. It's a godsend to numerous folks in our county. Can you please tell us about some of the recent changes or improvements at the Polk Transit Authority?
Yes, I will. You know, I can't tell you about those without singing the praises of the new director over there, Tom Phillips. He's done an outstanding job. The thing that he's done with our transit, not only in the Lakeland Area Mass Transit District, but countywide with Winter Haven Area Transit and Polk Transit, is phenomenal. He runs a very tight ship. As a matter of fact, he was just appeared before the Board of County Commissioners and presented us with a $100,000 refund check. Oh, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic because he had done such a good job, and the cost for running the services were down. He's proposed to use new buses that are smaller, that are more fuel efficient, and he's just done a fantastic job. The big thing that he's got going on right now is universal access, and he's going out to some of our large businesses, some of our colleges and universities in the county, and they are signing on for universal access. The Polk State's an excellent example. They will sign on to universal access. They will pay for the students to be able to ride so that they can get to classes. Same thing with Legoland. They signed on to universal access early, and they've got a ridership for their employees, and that allows people that we were just talking about earlier that do not have jobs, that allows them to get back into the job market and the job place.
Yeah, I was just out at Polk State College's Lakeland campus and saw a large number of students taking the bus to the campus.
Oh, absolutely. And there's other stuff that Tom has done. There's the My Ride project that he undertook early on as the new director. And he recognized in meeting with all of our municipalities that transit services is not a one-size-fits-all. What is good for Lakeland may not be necessary for Dundee. Again, it's good for Lakeland, you don't have to have in Mulberry, you know? So there's a plan now where we have tailor-made My Ride for each one of the municipalities. So it's a really good program, really good program.
Next November, there'll be a referendum on the future of bus ridership in Polk County. Can you please explain what the voters will be looking at on approving?
Yes, the Board of County Commissioners voted to put the referendum on the ballot for 2014. If the ballot passes, if the initiative passes, it will be for 1 cent. 1/2 of that will go toward transit services. 1/2 of it will go for transportation. Basically, the easiest way to remember that is transit services is what you ride in. Transportation is what you ride on.
The road improvements.
It's the road improvements.
Yes,
It's drainage and bridges and things. That's the easiest way to remember it. If we're successful in passing the referendum, if that's what the citizens of Polk County want to see as far as moving our transit services and our transportation forward, then we will have a reduction in our millage rate of 1 mills that we currently have on for transportation projects. That is, again, what you ride on, the roads, the bridges, the drainage projects. So there'll be a 1 mill in most of the county, and Lakeland, where they have voted, the citizens over there voted to put the 1/2 mill on for transit services. They will actually have 1.5 mills a reduction in their property taxes. So it's a big, it's a trade-off, but it's a big trade-off.
A poet said a long time ago, water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Now, we haven't gotten that far in Polk County, but we have to be ever mindful of water conservation and how we have to be good stewards of our water supply. And I know, Commissioner Hall, you're a champion of protecting our water. What do you think is in Polk County's future as far as protecting our valuable water supply?
Well, the board is going to consider as part of next year's budget a 0.1 mil increase for stormwater. And that starts the study. That keeps us in compliance with our national pollution discharge permits. So we're going to be considering that. We have already sent it out, taken a vote one time to put it on the trim notice so that we notify everyone. Stormwater and water in particular, you know, you can live without a lot of things. You can't live without water.
You're right there.
And we need to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to keep that resource available for our future generations. You know, we talk all the time about our federal government and how we have a deficit, and we don't want to pass that on to future generations. Future generations could actually live with a deficit. It wouldn't be a good thing. They'll be paying on it for all their lives, but they can't live without clean water. So we need to be good stewards of clean water, and in doing that, we need to make sure that we have taken all the steps necessary.
Wow, we've got quite an education today, and we appreciate Commissioner Hall, you being on the program today, and again, thanks for sharing with us about these various topics. Coming up next is Assistant County Manager Leanne Thomas, who's a very busy person. Thank you. Welcome back to this special edition of the Commissioner's Report. We are now being joined by Leanne Thomas, who is the Assistant County Manager and a community leader. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Ms. Thomas, you are an energetic and valued member of the County Manager's team, and you are very active in community and social causes, including serving as this year's President of the Bartow Chamber of Commerce and as a member of the Bartow Regional Medical Center's Advisory Board. What drives you to give back to our community?
My community, because the community has given so much to me, and in my family growing up, we were raised to, you give back to your community because your community gives so much to you. So I grew up watching that, and so I emulate what I've seen in my parents, and hopefully my children will do the same thing.
Your parents were your role models then?
Oh, absolutely.
Great. You attended 3 diverse colleges and universities to round out your education. Could you please share with us your education background and how these schools helped prepare you for your career in county government?
Well, my undergraduate degree is at Auburn University, War Eagle, to anybody who knows what that is. I majored in public administration, which I never changed my major. I know I'm pretty unusual. A lot of people change during the course of the years, but I always knew I wanted to work in government. At Auburn, I learned the basics, just about politics and local government and how everything was structured, even though, and I learned, the big thing I learned is it's different everywhere you go. I actually got my first master's degree at Valdosta State University. It was in education because where I lived at the time, there were 6,000 people in the county, and you had a choice. You could pulp wood or you could teach school. And being the clever person I am, I decided I would probably do a better job teaching school. But that actually helped prepare me for what I'm doing now also, because education is so important. Whether you're educating students to learn to read and write or you're educating the public that we work with every day, it's something you have to do.
Yes, ma'am.
But I eventually did go back to get my master's in public administration. I actually started out at Auburn again as a graduate assistant, but I finished up at University of Central Florida, which was better in the long run because it was local, and I was born and raised in Florida, knew I wanted to be in Florida, worked for the city of Maitland for a while, and while I was getting my master's degree, and then I ended up in Polk County.
And you have 24 years of service with the Board of County Commissioners. You started out first in our Office of Management and Budget. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen in county government over the past 3 decades?
Oh, technology by far, especially thinking back to the first in the budget office. I don't know if people remember green bar paper. We did everything on green bar paper, wrote out everything, had to manually enter. So the technology is incredible just in the budget office. And the other big change I've seen, I think, is professionalism. Professionalism by the staff. Big difference I can see in this new employees coming in, especially over all this amount of years. And another difference I think I see is in expectations from the public.
Yeah, they want more and better customer service today, don't they?
Right, I was going to hit on that. They do. Okay. And that's some of that professionalism that I see also. It hits in the customer service area.
As much as you love your job and service to our citizens, you love your children, Katie, Lee, and Kirby, much more. How do you balance being a mom and with being with this challenging job that you have at the county?
It's a tightrope. Very careful. One day you're leaning a little far this way maybe with the job, and then maybe sometimes you have to lean a little further with the kids. And as we all know, things happen in life, and you just do it.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how else to answer it than that.
As a longtime member of the county manager's team, you are responsible for numerous county functions, including budget and procurement, communications, cooperative extension services, social services, human resources, information technology, county probation, and risk management. In the time remaining, however, we will be focusing on one of your favorite passions, indigent health care. You've told me in the past that you find caring for our less fortunate citizens as one of the most fascinating and rewarding aspects of your work. How so?
That's an easy area to see results and to see that you are helping people, because there is such a need out there with our population for health care. And you know, it's not even just the indigent population that we serve, just overall in the county. If you look at the statistics for Polk County has one of the unhealthiest populations in the state. So we're working on it from a couple of levels, the indigent health care program, and also I deal with the employee health insurance program. And I see a lot of similarities between the two. So the more you can help people stay healthy, the more you're going to save money in the long run for all of us. And hey, money talks.
Polk County has had a long tradition of providing health care for eligible residents who were without health insurance through Polk General Hospital in Bartow. Health care was reinvigorated in 2004 when the county voters approved a tax referendum to support indigent health care services. How much does the half-penny sales tax raise annually, and how long will this program last?
It raises about $32 million annually, and obviously as our economy picks up, that will increase some because it is a sales tax based. And the referendum ends in 2019.
Polk County Health Care, the plan leverages its assets through community partners. Can you explain how this happens and who are the beneficiaries?
We have a lot of community partners. The hospitals are a big one, and they probably get the most benefit through a program we call Hospital Buyback. It's through a federal and state matching monies. We send in about $12 million this year for that matching program to bring back about $24 million that came back to the community, came back to the 5 hospitals who would not have received that money otherwise. What do they use it for? They use it for indigent care. That's our biggest partners money-wise, but we have many other partners. We have Lakeland Volunteers in Medicine. We have Hope Now, which is a transitional program. We have 5 faith-based clinics that are spread throughout the county who see patients also. We have numerous partners, and because of those partners, a lot more people are served than would have been otherwise. In fact, the last numbers I saw, we've served about 29,000 people through just our partnerships, leveraging the money. And I think that's just such a wise use of money and spreads it so much further.
Very good. And the Indigent Healthcare Sales Tax Fund is overseen by county departments under your watch and by a citizens committee. Right. Who are the involved citizens? Who are the partners in this?
Well, they represent different areas. We have hospital representation, we have school board representation, we have children's interest, we have business interest, we have insurance interest, minority interest, elderly interest. Someone has to fit into each category and be involved in that in some way, and then the Board of County Commissioners appoints those citizens. They oversee the program, make sure we're spending the money wisely, make sure we're putting it and getting the most bang for our buck. So we've got a wide, diverse group, and I've learned a lot from them, and hopefully they've learned a lot from us and the information we give them also.
What services are available to eligible citizens through the Polk County Health Care Plan?
It's basic health care, primary and specialty care. Obviously, we want to keep people healthy. We look for comorbidities, which would be diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, those type of things. If we can keep those numbers good and keep their blood pressure great, their A1C3, so I always say it backwards, their diabetes under control, and then their cholesterol under control, we're going to have a healthier population in the long run. Again, saving everybody money, not just the people in the program themselves, and also the county and the state in general.
Speaking of the people in the program, how does one become eligible for the health care plan?
Well, we have caseworkers who work with them. People have to bring in information about their income. They have to be qualified for it. So once someone's qualified, they stay in the program for 6 months, and they have to get qualified again because we want to make sure we're serving the right population.
And these folks have no health care insurance?
Correct. They can't have health insurance anywhere else. The population, their income has to be below a certain amount. They can't be on Medicaid or Medicare. We are the last resort for the program.
We'll now move away from health care to another great interest of yours, lobbying state and national representatives in Tallahassee and Washington. Please tell us what you enjoy about this aspect of your very job and what benefits accrue from these one-on-one discussions with the political leaders.
You know what? There's two things that, and when you were saying, I want to make sure I remember. It is so diverse talking to our national and our state politicians and looking at the issues that go on nationally and statewide. And also, you know, it's an education process. So it's back to that education thing. You're informing people about how will these laws or not having laws affect us here at the county, because that's obviously who I'm lobbying for, is the county. We want the best thing for the Polk County citizens, and it just runs the gamut of issues. I find it fascinating.
I've heard Mr. Freeman, the county manager, say that one of the top priorities is protecting not only Polk County but the other counties from unfunded mandates.
Mandates, right.
What's an unfunded mandate? Well, give us an example.
Well, that's when the state,
you know?
well, for us, when the state
Okay.
passes down and says, okay, counties, you're going to pay for this. And a prime example, this is one which the outcome in the long run I found very interesting. And I don't remember exactly how many years ago, but the state passed on that the counties would pay for detention of juveniles, that cost. Well, all of a sudden we were popped with at that time about $4.5 million that the county had to suddenly start paying. We didn't raise taxes for us, we didn't have the money for it, but we had to pay for it. Well, what's happened in the meantime, we talked to Sheriff Judd and said, hey, would you be interested in taking over this function? And he looked at it and he decided, yeah, I can do this and I can do it for cheaper, which we thought he could, and it's proven to be so. We've saved, you know, a couple $1 million a year taking care of the juveniles, but that's a prime example of an unfunded mandate.
Oh, thank you for that. You spend time on another interest you have, library services. Why are community libraries still beneficial in this age of computers?
Because everybody doesn't have a computer. I mean, that's
There
the
you go.
main thing.
Yes.
And plus, you know what? I still think people like to hold a book. And everybody, unfortunately, every child does not have books when they're growing up. They weren't like probably you and I, where we had books galore everywhere. And that's the place where they can go. They can read a book, they can get it. And I love our library system. We have a library cooperative where the county itself does not own libraries. We partner, again, leveraging that money, we partner with the cities, who most cities do have libraries. I think we have 14 of them in Polk County out of our 17 municipalities. So that partnership's great, and it's great for the citizens. You can borrow books for free. You don't have to go buy books. And with the economy the way it's been and people's incomes, if you like to read, go borrow a book. And what's great about Polk County's Library Cooperative too, they have a books by mail. You don't even have to drive to the library. You can go online if you have a computer, and you can order your books and they'll mail them to you. Now, you have to get it back there, which you can drop it off at any library, or you can drop it off at the History Center here in Bartow even, or you can mail it back. It's a great program. You can download books, you can download music. Libraries serve such a function, but if you walk in any library now, you're going to see a lot of people sitting using the computers, because so many people don't have access to the internet, and the computers are just slam full every day in the libraries.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Thomas, for sharing your strong interest today, and we appreciate your citizens your service to the citizens of Polk County. Please join us next month when we will interview two county commissioners on topics that interest them and the citizens of Polk County. Until then, this is Jim DeGennaro thanking you for joining us today for the Commissioner's Report, and please take care and enjoy this beautiful community we call home.